In this video today, I'd like to share with you a marketing thing that we do every year that is absolutely killer. It creates a lot of buzz, it gets a lot of interest, gets a lot of talk, and also sets us up for some shoots in the following year. What I'm talking about is marketing for Christmas, and what I'm talking about is sending out Christmas cards. Now, before you click away thinking Christmas cards, what? That's so old fashioned. What I'm talking about is putting a modern spin on them, and just so you don't click away, hopefully click away from this video, I'll show you roughly what I'm talking about. I'm talking about Christmas cards that look like that. So if you're new to the channel, my name is Richard. I'm a full-time photographer and studio owner. Along with my wife, we turn over multiple six figures per annum with this studio, and we're working our way towards $1 million per annum. I make these videos because I'm trying to establish credibility as a personal brand and as a speaker and educator. And also I like making these videos just because I enjoy making them and helping photographers where I can. So as per the introduction, what I'm referring to is sending out Christmas cards. Okay, now, just to give a little bit of backstory, like I've mentioned in previous videos, I've been in business forever. And back in the old days, I used to send out Christmas cards as well. And it was just a goodwill thing that we sent. And then as the years went by, we sort of stopped doing it. And then when I started photography, I started doing it. And what I was doing originally was, from advice from another platform, was sending out Christmas cards with gift certificates in them, trying to set up the following year, right, for shoots. And what I found for us, just for us, was that it was wildly unsuccessful. Now, I'm not saying it doesn't work. I'm just saying for us, it didn't, and to be truthful, it did feel very cynical, meaning that we were like sending out Christmas cards, wishing people, goodwill, and then sort of asking them to book in with a gift certificate. Okay, so we stopped doing that, and I stopped doing it for a while, and then I came up with the idea, because I saw it somewhere, I think, of sending out Christmas cards that were funny, and I'll put them up on the screen now. Okay. So you can check them out while I talk about them. And we've been sending these out. And I've got to tell you, like, at first we just started sending them out to our boudoir clients. And and I got to tell you that the response was amazing. Okay, absolutely amazing. We would get reports back that people would get them and keep them on their mantelpiece or whatever for the whole year, rather than just getting rid of them. And they'd show their friends and say, in a weird way, it's been one of the best marketing things we've ever done. If you are intrigued and you are interested in doing them, I think it's worth covering a few points that might help you. So the first thing is, why do them? I mean, well, I kind of just touched upon it, but it does cost a lot of money to do. Well, in our case, it costs a lot of money. We're sort of drifting into the thousands now because we've got so many clients. And especially, I don't know about overseas, but certainly in Australia, the cost of stamps, even the Christmas stamps, and then in conjunction with getting the cards printed and everything like that, it really starts to add up. So is it worth it? Well, like I alluded to before, 100% obviously, otherwise we wouldn't do it. Otherwise we wouldn't be talking about it now. And like I said, people hang on to these cards, and it makes them laugh. And I put it into the category of what I call kind of awareness marketing. Okay, it's giving value. There's a legendary marketing guy who features a lot on YouTube I stumbled across in the last 12 months, and his name is Rory Sutherland, who's this crazy Welsh guy who's apparently just has been involved with legendary advertising agencies for a long, long time. And he tells this story about how, I'm pretty sure I've got this right, that it was a bed company, a place that sells bed and then delivers beds. And what they would do is they would deliver the beds and then provide the kids with toys, okay? And he talks about that as a completely unquantifiable cost. Like, how do you quantify what you're getting back out of giving these kids toys and justifying the expense and all the hassle and everything like that? And there's a lot of things like that, and a lot of those things are gone by the wayside. And the way that he describes it is, he goes in the bigger companies, not so much small businesses like ours, if you're watching this, but certainly the biggest ones, what often happens is the bean counters will say that's not a good idea because you can't measure the results. And what I've noticed though is that by doing it, it's giving some of our other marketing campaigns more oomph when we do it. And for example, we do a marketing campaign at the end of January. So we choose to do it at the end of January because we take January off pretty much because of school holidays and all that type of thing, and then work the rest of the year. But so we send it out at the end of January when school goes back. And what I've noticed is that we're getting a lot of people taking us up on the offer. So what's happening there is, we're sending these cards out, these funny cards out, right? They're landing in people's mailboxes, they're getting a laugh out of it, they're getting like value out of it, and we're not wanting anything at all. And then we send these promotional offers out at the end of January. And I think that those Christmas cards are putting us in the front of people's minds. And then when they do get those cards, they're kind of associating us with something good. I never set out with the intention of doing that, because I only started doing that promotion thing last year. Okay, that wasn't the intention. But I was surprised at the amount of people taking us up on these offers and getting back to us on them. So I think it's been worthwhile, I really do, and I would encourage you to look into it. And the second thing is make them memorable, like these cards you just saw. Like in our case, I like to make them funny, right? Now, you might not be comfortable in making a dick of yourself like I do on the front of these cards, okay? And that's fine. But the point being is personalize them, put some thought into them, put some creativity into, I can't say the word, creativity into them. Like for example, I don't know, say you're a family photographer, or say you've got a dog in the studio or something, like dress the dog up in Santa clothes. Doesn't really matter. Whatever you think will work and what will resonate with your clients, that's the main thing, okay? But the point being is just don't order a whole bunch of boring Christmas cards off of Vistaprint, okay? And send them out. Speaking of Vistaprint, that's where we get them done. Now, on the subject of the cards themselves, so that's the card there, right? And what I do suggest is that you have a nice generic message in here, and your logo, and I've got our logo and contact details on the back, just so people can find us again. So if people pick up the card, their friends, and they look at it, they can figure out where it's from. Okay, so there's that. And like for example, for this card here, super simple message. I just say, wishing you and your family an awesome Christmas and an incredible 2024. Lots of love from Richard, Tracy, and our makeup team, Emma, Justina, Rachel, and Tina. End of story. The other thing worth mentioning too, which I haven't got here, is what I recommend you do as well is hand write the envelopes. Now, I know it's the biggest pain in the ass to do, and I make it sound easy, and I make it sound easy because I don't do it, okay? Tracy does it. She's got beautiful handwriting, okay? So if your handwriting sucks or you don't want to do it, just find some kid in high school or whatever who's got really nice writing, get them to do it, pay them to do it, you know, whatever. They'll be stoked to do it. But the point being is just personalize it. And what I find is that in an era when, you know, everything's digital, everyone wants to automate everything, nothing's personal anymore, no one puts any thought into anything anymore. People send ridiculous digital cards and lame wishing you Merry Christmas on social media or whatever. It's not the same, you know. It's not the same as getting something in the mail. They pick up and go, "Wow, this is cool," and then you're really giving some value. You know, you're really adding some value to the world by doing it, in my opinion. And finally, if you do this well, you can send it to everyone. Now, when I first started doing these funny cards with me being a knob on the front, I was a bit embarrassed or hesitant or reluctant to send them to our business clients, because if you've been following along with this channel, you would be aware that in addition to doing boudoir photography, our other area of specialty is headshot photography. Okay, so we do a lot of, well, it's all business and corporate headshots. Okay, so there's that. And it was, what I was doing was I was getting those cards printed and then another batch of cards printed that just had a Christmas tree on the front or something like that, something really generic. And I was sending the boudoir cards to our boudoir clients and the boring cards to our business clients. This year, I should say, 2025, I decided, bugger it, I'm going to send them to everyone and just see what happens. So, with a little note explaining why I was sending them the card, like saying we decided to send these to our business clients as well this year, I sent out all these Christmas cards, the one with me with the wings on it that you saw earlier, right, to all of our business clients. And I've got to tell you, the response was really good. And I'm not exaggerating when I say I honestly think, I can't say for sure, because I got no data to measure it with, I got no metrics to measure it with. But when clients were sending their hires in, or I was going back to their offices to, you know, photograph new staff, or whatever the case was, they were all commenting on the Christmas card. They're going, and they said how much they loved it and how they left it out and that type of thing. And what I figured out was, because I am the forward-facing person of this business, because Tracy's very shy, she doesn't like to be out front or be on social media or anything like that. But by doing something goofy like that, what I've noticed is that I'm now in the front of people's minds more and more. I'm not exaggerating. Honestly, like I noticed all this work coming in February, March and May with these business clients that I was never getting before. I don't think it was an accident. I don't think anything changed. The only thing that changed was that I was sending them these cards. Now, I'd send them cards in the past, like I said, but they were generic ones. So I think that had a lot to do with it. So I would encourage you, if you do a goofy card, don't be scared to send it to everyone, is what I'm getting at. So lastly, no, I won't harp on this. Like I said earlier, We just get the cards done at Vistaprint. They do a pretty good job. Good enough for cards, it's fine. We buy them with the envelopes, we buy them all in with big one batch. I'd be doing them sooner than later now. You know, it takes a little while to get it done. You got to collate your lists of people who you want to send them to. You got to get, you know, do your own shoot. You got to send them off and get them printed, all that type of thing. Get them in envelopes. For what it's worth, we send them off like mid-November because we do send quite a few overseas. Oh, another thing worth mentioning too that I forgot to mention before, I also send it to our vendors, okay, like our printers, the people who do our albums, wall art supplies and that type of thing. And also other places I've been guests on, you know, like as a podcast guest and things like that. And it's actually surprising again. I think adding that personal touch just in general has actually generated me a lot of speaking engagements and a lot of paid work. It's been quite interesting. I don't think that's the thing that does it, obviously. I think that's just one of many things. But I think it can really, really add to your personal brand. So I would thoroughly recommend anyone doing it. But look, I also want to give you an update. A couple of videos, I think it was, I was talking about doing a video on the subject of how to price and create price lists, you know, like the actual nuts and bolts of how to do that for portrait studios. And I have been working on it, but it's proving to be more complicated than I thought. When I say complicated, I don't mean the actual price list itself. That's the way that we operate, especially, is the most simple price list in the universe. I'm talking about a way of me trying to explain it to camera that makes sense, where you understand where I'm coming from. Conveying that has been a bit more difficult than I thought, but I am working on it. Look, I will leave it there. That's my excuse for not doing that video. I thank you for watching. I'd love you to leave a comment. If you're not subscribed to the channel, I would love you to subscribe to the channel. That'd be beaut. Until next time, have a great week. Keep on smiling, keep on trucking, and I look forward to seeing you again. Thanks again for watching. Have a good day.